Cherri Bomb is now such a part of me that I can just like fucking pull it out. You fucking died on me, asshole.
You kissed me, you died for me, become the first redeemed sinner, and how's it going? You fucking died on me, asshole!
It's like, I'm always so grateful for Sky because she's just like my resident Australian and she's always like, it sounds great. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
What was the reaction for you when you find out that you're getting a song in season 2?
I freaked out. I was so happy. I mean, I was hoping at some point I would sing. And, you know, the show, a lot of people I remember in season 1 were like freaking out on the internet. They were like, Cherri Bomb's not going to be in it. I'm freaked out. And then when she came in episode 6, they were like, oh, thank God.
They say time heals all wounds, but the wounds are what I miss.
I am so curious what the recording session for Piss looked like.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, when they sent me the song, I remember being like, what's the title? The title is Piss? And they were like, no, it's Piss, a love song. And I said, okay, got it. Piss, a love song makes it better.
Did you hear the vocals back and forth? Like, was Sam on one and Andrew was on the other?
When we recorded Piss?
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting when they first so they always send us a demo first. And so I heard basically, Sam sings everybody. So it's Sam singing as Sir Pentious and Sam singing as Cherri Bomb. And I was like, wait, this song is so sick because I didn't get to sing as Cherri until literally Piss. And I just remember being like, this is such a sick song. So I actually recorded first. And because we don't record together, I recorded first. But then when Alex recorded, I recorded with nobody. He was like, dude, I just recorded to your voice. Piss is so fucking sick. And I was like, I can't believe we're going to continue saying this sentence. Piss is amazing. I love Piss. Piss is great.
This is like the history going forward.
And now the fans come to my booth all the time. And when they see me and they go, oh, I love Piss. And I'm like, oh my God.
So did you heard Sam sounding like Pentious in that?
Yeah, so Sam does these like incredible impressions of all of us. Like truly, he does my Australian accent. He does everything that everybody does, and so he sings in our voices too. That's how we get the demos. Is that we hear him doing really great impressions of us.
And then what's your reaction to the first time of seeing the actual video for it?
Oh, seeing it? I freaked out because in your head, you like imagine what it's going to be. I obviously like know Cherri Bomb much better now. And Sir Pentious is personally my favorite character. So I was just so excited to see him just like singing this like love ballad.
Dream collab.
But when I saw it for the first time, I saw it actually with last year, right before season 2 dropped, we got to watch the whole thing as a cast and with the animators when we were in Orlando at some convention. And I saw the song and I was like, oh my God, this is so much more epic than I thought when she's like, Cherri Bomb's like running and she's flipping and she's singing upside down. And then the end is so vulnerable. And you know, the end of Piss was actually going to be it wasn't going to be that soft, sweet ending. At first, when they wrote it, it was this big ending from Cherri. And
is that your original recording?
I don't know if we have it somewhere. The recording that came out though is that like flipped lower octave, but before it was like beating the piss out of you. Well, it was a big ending. And then in the studio we were like, let's try something soft and vulnerable and see what it feels like. And so then we took it down the octave and it became this really sweet contemplative end. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
What does this project feel like for you to have that ability to sing? Oh, I spit. That ability to sing a song like this, like with your range and your abilities.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything I could have wanted. I started my career more as a rock singer. I did like Spring Awakening, American Idiot. So I've always been like a punkier rock singer. And there aren't that many musicals that sort of dance in that anymore right now. And so when I auditioned for Cherri Bomb, I had to sing Bad Reputation by Joan Jett. That was my audition song.
So cool.
Yeah, which was a perfect fit for me. And I also was like, that's exactly what I think this girl would sound like. And so when I didn't sing in season 1, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not singing yet. In season 2, I bet she'll sing. And when they sent it to me, I was like, this is exactly what not only do I think Cherri Bomb would sound like, but also where I like live and thrive as a singer. So it just felt like this kind of perfect little collaboration. And and singing in that way and getting to like punk rock sing and really like dig in is just truly like my favorite way to use my voice, honestly. And I don't get to do it that often like that.
It's such a powerful song.
Oh, it's so great.
When you said your audition for Joan Jett, how'd you find the audition? Did it come to you? Did someone reach out?
Yeah, so like my agent, sent me, I have a great animation agent and I auditioned a ton as so many voice actors do. And with this one, I got essentially the list of all the female characters and they were like, audition for as many as you want. So I combed through them and that happens every once in a while. Sometimes they'll be like, this is the character, but this packet had a ton of characters. And Cherri was the first one I noticed. And I was like, wait, I love her. Australian accent. I love doing an Australian accent. She sounds so badass. I was like, this is a great fit. So I auditioned for Cherri, I auditioned for Vaggie, and I auditioned for Nifty.
Are you aware of Hazbin in the universe and the fandom that it could have and everything going on with it?
At the time?
Yeah.
Actually, I really wasn't. I had never heard of Viv or Hazbin or the Helliverse. And, you know, I do my due diligence as an actor. When I get an audition, I Google it to see if it exists or to see if it's a show that's happening right now. And I Googled it and I was like, wait, this thing has a lot of this is really popular, and it was just a pilot. This is wild. But I purposely didn't watch the pilot because I was like, I don't want to put anything else. I don't want to put anything in my head. I kind of like when I audition and I see the little characters, because it comes with like a little picture of Cherri. It's like I saw it and I like heard her immediately. So I was like, okay, I know this isn't a property that exists, but it's not asking for a voice match. It's just asking for us to audition. I'm not going to watch this pilot. I just am going to do what is my impulse. And honestly, my audition is exactly what I do in the show.
That's
Like
insane.
there was not a lot of adjustment as far as like how far to go with the accent. And I remember on the audition, it said light Australian accent. And in my head, I was like, okay, let me send them a light one. And then I was like, and then I'm going to send them one where I like really go over the top with it. And that's what they ended up wanting.
This is obviously a big position and big role. Do you like workshop it before, or do you sit down at the computer, you read the character description, and you immediately just have it in your head and that's it?
Kind of. It depends on the audition. We get so many. Like, I didn't realize until I really started voice acting in 2013 how many auditions there are. Like, I almost audition for animation more than anything else. It's a just volume game. And so a lot of the times you get them and you're like, okay, I can't pour my entire life into all these auditions. Sometimes I'm auditioning like 5 times a week on top of all the on-camera stuff I'm doing and theater stuff. So I do go with my impulses. And I also find that when I sit and I like try to like think too hard about it, I actually get a little tight. So for the most part, I kind of just I get the audition, I look at it, I study it for a second, and then I just go. And I go with my impulse. And most of the time I kind of feel it out in the booth. So I'll do a couple runs, I'll do it a couple times. Sometimes if it's a good scene, I'll have my husband who's an actor read it with me just to make sure I'm really reacting. Because it's hard with the mic sometimes. You're like, wait, I have to still fully do this scene as if we're right here next to each other.
And then piece by piece, do you start seeing the cast and the ensemble coming together and you're like, oh my God, they're part of this?
Yeah, I mean, it was wild. So Erika Henningsen, who plays Charlie, is like my best friend. We've been best friends for forever. We did Mean Girls together on Broadway. And
Is that where you guys met?
Yeah, that's how we met. And we like fell in love with each other. She truly is like my soulmate. I swear to God. But I remember when I auditioned, we have the same animation agent, and my animation agent was like, we think Charlie's cast. And I was like, I wonder, Charlie, like, wonder what? I was like, Erika, did you go in for this? And she's like, yes. And she was like, I can't talk about it. And I was like, oh my God, wait, I feel like I feel like we both got this. And we continually look at each other years later and we go, I can't believe we're on this ride together. Like, the universe is letting two best friends like take this crazy, massive journey together.
For you and Erika, how long did you do Mean Girls together?
We did it for a year. She had done it a year prior to me arriving, and then I got there as a first replacement for Gretchen Wieners. And we just kindred spirits, me and her. Yeah.
What's it like to step in as a replacement on Broadway?
Totally different than like when I originate something on Broadway, because it's this weird thing where you're like stepping into shoes that have already been filled.
Like the mold's already made.
Yep, it's done. The blocking's done. The show is up and running. So it's like you have to pay and want to pay homage to the person before you. For me, it was Ashley Park, who also is just one of my besties. But then also you're like, well, I can't do, and no one wants me to do a replica of that. So you have to like make it your own within the confines that are given to you already. It's an interesting thing. It's hard, but it's also like the minute you go like, okay, this already exists, I now can be free within the like confines of it. It just like makes it better. It doesn't make it feel like you're trying to replicate something.
Did you ever watch the original performance with her in it just to get an understanding of it?
Yeah, totally. Similarly, to just get a vibe to understand the show itself. And then also like what's weird about Gretchen Wieners is there was also Lacey Chabert, the movie Gretchen Wieners. So I had a lot to pull from of like, this person's amazing. This person's amazing. I'm going to do my own spin on it, but I'm going to like steal that from her because that was amazing. And I'm going to steal that from her because she's so funny, and then make it like my Gretchen Wieners.
What's the build up to the debut of it?
Oh my God. Well, on Broadway, it's fascinating. Like the process is pretty fast, especially for replacement. I only had like 3 weeks pretty much of rehearsal from like starting rehearsal to being on stage.
And is the rest of your days after rehearsal still going through it, getting it memorized?
So I'm like rehearsing all day, 10 to 6, going straight to the theater and watching the show every night. So that's the process when you're being put into a show.
Oh.
So you go from rehearsal to the theater, you sit and watch, you track. Sometimes I'll go trail her backstage, or I'll go in the audience and take notes, or I'll go in the lobby and run songs while they're doing it. But
where are you sitting in the theater?
depends. A lot of the times, like you'll be in the back because I want to move around and I also don't want to distract. And then a lot of the times, like popping back in back in from the lobby and stuff. So yeah.
Oh. That's so interesting that you're like when you take over the role, but the machine's already running.
Yeah, it's running. That's why a good replacement, again, the train is moving. It will not stop for you. You just have to get on. So it's like a different kind of challenge. I find it to be really fun. And like my Broadway debut was the Green Day musical, American Idiot. I had like 6 days of rehearsal and then I was making my Broadway debut. I was like 20. I was freaking out. And I was also like, this is the craziest challenge ever. You think it's going to be like, I'm going to be on Broadway. I have time to like figure out my role and a process. Like, no, it's just like the train is moving. Get the fuck on it.
Is Broadway something that you always felt like you want to just do?
Majorly. When I was in high school, I was in theater a lot. I just found my people in theater and in singing and in being on stage. And then from doing theater is how I found myself going into voice acting. And voice acting was also something I always wanted to do. I loved watching cartoons growing up, and I always was like, I feel like I have a very malleable voice. And Cherri Bomb sits in a really low, gravelly place for me, but I also voice like 6-year-olds. And like, I think because I'm a singer, my voice, I can do a lot with my speaking voice, which is really cool.
This is really just like the perfect dream role,
Oh,
like
yes.
essentially. With Mean Girls, did you have to audition for something like that because it's already happening?
Yeah, definitely. So every process for Broadway show is different, but for me with Gretchen in particular, I had been in auditions for Hamilton like over and over and over again. And the casting director of Hamilton is the same casting director for Mean Girls. So I remember I still like wasn't getting cast in Hamilton. And then she was like, hey, we want to call Krystina in for Gretchen in Mean Girls. And I was like, wait, I feel like I'm a Janice. Because again, I said like I'm a rock singer. And she was like, no, I feel like you're a Gretchen. You just don't know it. And I like looked at the material and I was like, I am a Gretchen. I'm a Gretchen. And so when I got in there and I auditioned for it, I got to meet with the music team first. Because once you kind of get going in New York, everybody kind of knows you. So like that first audition where you sing your own song and everybody is sort of, you don't do that as much anymore. So my first audition was actually with the music director, with the material, kind of working on it so they could see if I was the right fit. A little more casual than like in the front of the room with your book and yeah.
Are you doing dress rehearsals too, or is your first time running through it in front of the crowd?
Yeah, so on Broadway, we have these things called put-ins, and basically you rehearse alone as a replacement, and then
Completely by yourself the entire run through?
when you're replacing, yeah. So I'll be in the room with like a stage manager who's doing some of the roles. Sometimes a swing will pop in, who's like an understudy and work with the replacements. But for me, I was going in alone, like I was the only one coming in, so it was just me and the associate director and the stage manager. And then the week before you go in, they do these put-in rehearsals where you go to the theater and you do it with the cast for the first time during the day. But you're the only one in costume. It's really weird. So everyone's in street clothes, but like you're in the getup and they're running it for the first time. And then you usually have to wait 3 or 4 days before you're on, like before the show.
And then it's
And then you
curtains
just
up.
do it. Yeah.
And is the show must go on a real saying there?
It depends, like to a degree. If you mess up, you just keep going. Like there is no stopping for that. If something crazy happens, like I remember in Mean Girls, Erika actually had this really fast quick change, and in the middle of the show, they pulled the quick change rig and it pulled her wig off. And so we pulled the curtain. We had to go reset her wig. It was really funny. So they will stop if it's something crazy.
Because that you can't just put it back on. It has to be.
No, we have to like reset it, pin it. Like it's a lot. But, I think as far as show must go on, like it does it makes your ego like leave, because if you mess up, if you crack, if you sound bad, like you just have to keep going, which is good. Like I had a director once tell me the best actors have the worst memories, meaning like when you mess up, you just keep going and you forget about it, instead of actors that are like, oh my God, I messed up. And the whole show, you're like, I messed up that one part. Like, just let it go. You keep going.
Is there like a rule of thumb? Are you supposed to address it if it's a big thing and then try and make the crowd laugh and then get back into it?
It depends. It has to be pretty egregiously bad. Because look, we're professionals. So our job is to cover it. If someone, for some reason, forgets where they are, forgets their line, it's our job as the actor to try to get us back on or improv through it or figure it out. So the goal is always to not let the audience see you mess up. And honestly, half the time they don't even know. If it's something crazy like that, what I was saying about Erika's wig getting ripped off, I remember I had the next line back in. And so when they raised the curtain, my line was like, oh my gosh, Katie, I was looking for you. And I was like, Katie, you look so different. Like something silly like that. So every once in a while you can like do a little cutie, the audience knows.
Do you actually play flute?
I do, yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
do play the flute. Yep, I've played since high school.
That's why you're Gretchen.
Yep, exactly.
I can't believe you and Erika are just on these 2 massive projects now.
It's wild. We when we travel to conventions, because that's what we do most of our traveling with and being together, we look at each other and I was like, this is crazy. Because it's always amazing when you get to do projects with close friends. But to do 2 massive properties and then this has been property, which has been such a huge, beautiful surprise to all of us. I knew that it was successful before. I had a feeling that people would love it, but I had no idea the massive fandom and how far it goes. I'm still in a perpetual state, I feel like all of us are, of shock of like how this just feels like a total gift and like a surprise, like really a surprise because we work so hard as actors and you never know if people are going to like something, if it's going to take off. And obviously, this had a lot of good things in the mix and it existed. But me and Erica still look at each other and we're like, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Obviously, the storytelling, the animation, the music, it all comes together. But is there any other aspect that may not be like the forefront and the obvious that really connects to the audience?
Yeah. As far as like, wait, repeat that. What do
Like
you mean?
why is Hazbin so special to the audience other than the obvious?
Yeah, yeah. What I have found, I think one of the best things about the traveling that we do with these conventions is that I meet so many fans and I meet people that love the show, that have healed through the show, that have found themselves through the show. And I think something that I love about has been in general and the world that Viv has built is that everybody can see themselves in it and they feel like they've found a place where they belong, where a place where they can be weird, where they can be queer, where they can be free. And I think in society, it can be so hard to say, okay, I can be weird. I can be whatever. And people aren't going to accept that. But I feel like what Hasbin has done is built this fandom and universe where people see themselves and they feel connected with each other. And to watch them at conventions and when we see fans, like we had this big thing, the Broadway Live in New York, the whole block has been in cosplay. They find each other. And it just makes me feel like people think they're less alone. It makes me feel less alone when I see how happy it makes just all of these young people that are doing their best and just trying to find themselves. And we're all weirdos. And the show is saying that actually is what makes you amazing. And I think that's what I love so much about the show. It has those deep themes that I think is why our fandom is so big.
And they also they really just spread love. It's really insane. Like
They
when I'm at
do.
Level Up, seeing everybody together and connecting is so incredible.
It is the most genuine group, like it's the most genuine fandom. And I really mean it. And that's not just to say, like, I know they love the show, but the people are so kind. Everyone that comes and meets me, whether it's on the street or at a convention, loves the show, is so grateful for what we do, and we are so grateful for them. So it's just a love fest at all times. I've always felt that way about our fandom is they are unique and kind and have so much gratitude, as do we.
Who are the people that really connect with Cherri Bomb?
Oh my gosh. It's so fun. People always come to me, they're like, Cherri Bomb's my fucking bitch. I love her. Like, I feel like people find their, like, again, talking about this word freedom of just being like unabashedly themselves. That's what I love about her. That's why I like a piece of me is her because, like, I want to be as confident as her. She has no qualms being exactly who she is. And I think I see myself in that, or I want to be that way. And I love people that when they come to my booth and they're like, she's just like my ride or die. Like I just want to like party with her. And I'm like, I know she would be so fun.
What was the reaction for you when you find out that you're getting a song in season 2?
Oh, I freaked out. I was so happy. I mean, I was hoping at some point I would sing. And, you know, the show, a lot of people I remember in season 1 were like freaking out on the internet. They were like, Cherri Bomb's not going to be in it. I'm freaked out. And then when she came in episode 6, they were like, oh, thank God. But it's like a world of so many characters. So we had to give time to who would be, you know, up next for their moment. And I remember in season 2 when they were like, hey, Cherri Bomb's going to have a song. We're going to start her arc. And I was just so happy because, you know, in season 1, we meet her. She is her party self. We don't learn a lot about her in the world quite yet, other than she's friends with Angel. She does her own thing. She marches to the beat of her own drum, and she doesn't really care what anybody says about it. And what I love is that season 2, we see her vulnerable. We see how she feels when she starts to feel things, when she sees what it means to be without someone she loves or with her best friend or where she wants to be and how she wants to be. And I think watching that start to happen for her has been really cool for me as an actor because season 1 was a little one note for me. Like, but again, we didn't have a lot of time with her. It was like, she's getting in, she's partying, she's crazy. And then in season 2, not only having Piss, but also her scenes. She gets to really like dive into what it means to have loyalty to loyalty to Angel, and what it means to like miss Sir Prentice.
Are you on other songs too?
In season 2?
Yeah.
Yes, I sang on the opening. I sang on Love in a Bottle as one of the Huskettes, which is super fun. We broke the internet because they released the names of who were singing on the songs, not the characters. And Love in a Bottle was Husk's song with me, Kamiko, and Lily. So it said the three of us, and people were like, why are Velvet and Nifty and Cherri Bomb in a song with Husk? What the fuck? And I was like, you guys, we do a lot of things on the show. But we got to sing on Love in a Bottle, Hear My Hope, a couple other ones in the season.
Have you heard any headcanon from the fandom as far as what happened to Cherri Bomb previously?
I haven't heard a lot, and I also don't know the answers. So it's funny, like Viv obviously knows everything that she's created.
Which is so
her
nuts.
brain. It's crazy. And she tells us stuff if we ask, but sometimes she doesn't tell us everything. And I kind of think it's because we're fans too. And so like, especially if there's big spoilers, she's like, well, I'm not going to tell you what happens next. And we're like,
So
wait,
good.
tell us. But I don't even want to know. It's fun to read the scripts when they come to me. And also when we record, we only get the scripts of the episodes that we're in. So there are holes for me that are not filled in until we watch it. And I kind of don't want it all to be ruined. It's fun for me because I love the show. Christian Borle says this all the time when I'm on panels with him, but like we are true fans of the show. And that's a cool feeling as an actor. Not that I don't love everything I've worked on, but sometimes you're like, I like this. It's not my favorite thing I've done, but I like it. Or like, it's not super good. We really genuinely love the show and are proud of our work on it and each other's work and Viv's work. And so I think that is a testament to like what you hear on the show too, is we really believe in it. We love it.
I think that's what makes it so special for the fans is that they get to see their favorite actors actually loving the show as well.
Absolutely.
Is there a favorite song of yours besides anything that you're in season 2?
Yes. I love the song Live to Live, which is at the end of season 2. I remember when we watched it, Viv had released or she had posted on her stories pictures of us like all huddled in a hotel room watching. And there was this one frame of us like crying and everyone was like, oh my God, who died? Like what happened? And it was us watching Live to Live for the first time, which is the song between Sarah and Sir Pentious. And it comes back to, it starts with Sorry. And it is just, there's something so emotional in that song and such an amazing tie back to season 1. Andrew and Sam did such a good job with the song and the power of Patina's voice, and just like that song gives me chills. I listen to it over and over again.
What about season 1?
Season 1, I mean, every song is such a banger. But I think in season 1, my favorite song was also It Starts With Sorry. I'm a huge Sir Pentious fan. I love Sir Pentious. I'm not biased. I just think he's such a little like cutie, but I love It Starts With Sorry. And then I also think the first song, what is it called? And I'm only thinking now of Has Been Guarantee, which is the first song of season 2. The first song of the series. It's just perfectly written of like what we're going to watch. We're going to watch like a fucked up Disney princess
Even
story.
for season 2, I think it's the same. Like they set it up so beautifully.
Yep.
Being on part of the show and part of this amazing ensemble, how do you explain Hazbin Hotel to people who aren't familiar with it, whether it's friends or family, or like, oh, what do you do, by the way? And you're like, oh, well, I'm part of the show. What do you say?
Yeah, it's funny with Hazbin in particular. I always give a little warning with it, right? Because I don't know where anybody's level of
Understanding.
Yeah, understanding, or also just like, I don't know, how far is too far for people. I never assume. Nothing is quite too far for me. I'm like, I watch kind of everything, and I actually don't love violence. That's hard for me. But as far as like content and language and stuff, that doesn't bother me, but I know it does for some people. So I always am like, so I'm on the show, Hazbin Hotel. It's an adult animated series. It is rated R in my book. And it is also, you know, talking about a lot of complicated issues and complicated things. It's really funny and also really goes and dives into things that can be difficult to process and talk about. So I definitely, especially with Hazbin, am very like, go watch it. Oh, and it's a musical. And they're like, wait, a musical that takes place in hell about difficult topics, but also is funny, but also has Disney princess songs, but also you say fuck every other word. They were like, what is this? And I'm like, go watch it.
It's really such a unique show.
So unique, so unique.
How did your first understanding of the show change to where we are now? Like, did your perception of it alter?
From being on it, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think for me, again, what's nice about as we're continuing recording is that the our depth and knowledge and understanding of the Helliverse and our characters has grown, right? So like my first session for Cherry Bomb, I didn't know even an iota of what I know now based on everything that has come since then. So I think there's like a depth to not only my performance, but I feel like all of us on the show now because we know it better. I think that's what's great and why I'm so grateful we have so many seasons is that shows like don't get enough time to get going nowadays. They get canceled so soon. So
Did you
like
watch Tell Me Lies?
no.
Oh, it's
What
such
is
a good.
that?
It's on Hulu, but it's about like a friend group, and it's season 3, but it just ended, and it got so incredible.
Ugh.
And it's like the #1 show, but it just
And it's
ends.
over?
Yeah,
No.
but they could easily keep it going.
I know. I don't know like what goes into that, but like when we heard that we got picked up all the way through 4 immediately, we were like, this is awesome. Cause there's an element of especially voice acting where that first session and that first season happens and you're like, I kind of don't know what I'm doing yet. Like, what is this world? I don't really know what it looks like other than what was happening before. I don't know Cherry Bomb well enough yet. I know, like, there's just no time and you don't get that. So the first season is a lot of just like, you jump off the cliff and you hope you picked something good and it worked out. And it did because we all are professionals. But by season 2, we'd watched season 1. We know the world. We know these characters better. So they're much more lived in. I know my relationships better with Angel Dust or with Husk or with Serpentious. And then you feel that in the show, which is why the gratitude we have that we're picked up through 4 is just like, thank God, because there's so much story to tell. And every single season we get closer and closer to our characters, which makes the show better.
And then even just the natural relationships between Viv and the writers and the animators amongst each other, and they're pushing
Yeah.
each other, and they're just the animation style too in season 2 is so it's just like beefed up. They really like they just elevated everything.
Oh, yeah. I remember when we watched it, we got to watch season 2 with some of our animators as well. And watching them watch it was so cool because you could tell they were so happy with what they did. And I remember us watching it. I was like, this is a different level now. Some of those fight sequences in season 2 are crazy. I remember being like, this is so epic. I can't believe I'm on this show. And I think like watching everybody be proud of their work and again, get better. And that's what it means. Like as an actor, as an artist, like as a human person, I'm always trying to get better at everything I do as a person, as an actor, as a creator, and level up, level up, level up. And so I think it's been nice to watch everybody sort of want this to be as amazing as the fans want it to be. And we work really hard at it as a unit.
How do you get prepared for the vocal booth in
Mm.
Hazbin?
For me, so usually we get the scripts a couple days before, the songs a couple days before, so we're sort of learning them. But for me, I always have to get right back into the accent. This past year I've been working on a musical where I'm actually using a Yorkshire accent, and so that really fucked with my Australian accent.
What is more Yorkshire, like
Yorkshire,
UK?
Yeah, northern.
Like Birmingham?
No, like, and I was just in Cherry Bomb land, so I'm like, but it's just like a northern British dialect, and so UK dialect, and so I had to get that out of my brain to get back in, and we don't have dialect coaches on Hazbin. They're kind of like, good luck, you got this, and I'm lucky because I get a lot of our animators are Australian, so they are specifically Sky.
Specifically,
Yeah, she and she'll always try to be in session with me, even when she's in Australia and it's like 3 a.m. and I'm in session here in LA or in New York, and she'll always get on there so she knows that like I feel better when she's there because she's listening, and she'll be like, hey, try this word, saying it this way that's a little closer to what we want. And it's like I'm always so grateful for Sky because she's just like my resident Australian, and she's always like, it sounds great, and I'm like, okay, thank you.
Was it ever spoken as to why Cherry Bomb is Australian?
No, I mean, I always assumed that it was because we have a lot of Australian animators. I've not heard other than that. Because again, it's weird. You get the job and you just frickin' go. There's no time to ask like why or what do we think about. It's just like go. And so they were like, we loved your comp, your audition. Here's a comp of it. Let's do it.
What does it look like for you when you're preparing for a song?
For a song,
Like you specifically, what's your method?
yeah. So with Hazbin in particular, we get these songs early. And then again, it's these demos that Sam and Andrew send us of Sam singing all of our vocal tracks, which is hilarious.
Is he doing the Cherry accent?
Oh, fully doing the Cherry accent. His Australian is not bad, actually. And he does great of all of them. And Andrew does too. And so I'll get the song, I'll listen to it. We get sheet music and we get lyrics and everything. And then really we start having a dialogue with Sam and Andrew about keys. So like for me with Piss in particular, me and Alex had to talk about what key would be right for both of us because he's a guy and I'm a girl and we have different vocal ranges. And so we go back and forth as to what key we're going to sing the song in. And then we get tracks and we start working on it. And then as far as prepping, that's really it. It's like learn the song. And then in the booth, Sam and Andrew are there with Viv and with Richard. And we're sort of feeling out the song. How far with the accent do we want to go? Do we want to like make it a really belty part or do we want to make it a light part? Like, and so we kind of collaborate together in the booth and go through it piece by piece, making sure that all the acting beats are there, the vocal beats are there. And yeah, that's kind of how it works.
It's one thing to just talk in the accent, but to actually sing and have it sound good in an accent, I feel like is a whole nother beast.
Totally.
Like, what's the biggest struggle with that, figuring out how to sing a song with an accent that you're not really 100% familiar with?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, so Australian was always an accent that I liked doing for fun. Me and Joelle Perez, actually, who also was my dear friend from a long time ago.
Prior to
Hazbin. Yeah, a lot of
Through
us
Broadway?
were friends before. Yeah, through Broadway. Joelle and I did a show called Kiss My Aztec together where we played opposite each other. We developed that for a long time. So I've known him for a long time. And we always fuck around with the Australian accent. So we're always like ragging on each other just for fun in an Australian accent. So like that one has always been one that, and I also watched a lot of Australian comedy growing up since like 2005. So like I've it's been in my ear. And we didn't even really discuss how far we would take the accent in the singing. Because a lot of the time, sometimes people will say, okay, well, when British people, pop stars sing, sometimes they lose their accent a little bit. And I just was like, I feel like I can make this. I didn't even think about it because I just did it. I was like, it would be weird for me to not commit to the accent fully in singing. I can't even like read her lines now without doing them in accent. It's just so wrong.
Would you
So-
listen to any Australian singers to see how they approach it?
Yes, I always go back to this specific video. You were asking about my prep before I go into session. So I'm constantly listening to Australian people. So I'll watch like Australian news all day. I will listen to Chris Lilly, a comedian, like his podcast or over and over to him talking because his cadence is really familiar with my ear.
And are you repeating words?
Yep, repeating words, repeating lines. I also have a dialect coach like thing. And then also I watched this one specific video of Hugh Jackman. He talks for like half an hour on YouTube about spirituality. It's the most random video. It's like an interview. It's really old, but he speaks without stopping for 30 minutes. And I just listen to that and I talk with him. I almost have it memorized now because I just get into accent and into the rhythm of the Australian accent by listening to these people. So, and you know, we push it pretty far on the show, but that's what makes it fun.
Who else did you know from Broadway? Joelle, Erika.
Joelle, Erika, Christian, Leslie, Daphne played my mom once in a musical. I'm trying to think of who else. Like Lily from Spring Awakening, which was like 20 years ago. Blake, I just knew through friends. I didn't know Blake as well because he's younger than us and he started a little bit later. I'm trying to think of who else. Oh, Jessica, obviously. Alex Brightman, duh. Like we all just, the Broadway community is very small.
So crazy.
Yeah, and constantly our Broadway friends are like, hey, how can we get on Hazbin Hotel? Because you guys look like you're having so much fun. I'm like, I know you guys. It's so fun.
Did you have a song with Patrick Stump also? You
I?
did.
No.
I thought on Spotify you guys are in a song together, no?
Wait, really?
I thought so.
I wonder if it's the way that they labeled the finale.
That's why I think it was when they just had everybody in it.
Yeah. Those ones, like each of our names are, and then Patrick's always, it's Patrick. Oh, it's Patrick Stump. No, I thought Abel, and I was like, wait, Abel, maybe Alabado Abel. No.
What was doing American Idiot like?
Oh, doing American Idiot was amazing. It was my Broadway debut. I got to do it with Billy Joe Armstrong in the show. He played Saint Jimmy. I don't know if you're familiar with the musical, but and so I got to make my Broadway debut on stage with Billy Joe Armstrong in the show every night. He was so cool. He's such a rock star, such a nice guy. And we did the show, and then he left and then came back when we closed the show. But I felt like a rock star doing that. It was the weirdest way to make my Broadway debut. Very irregular. When we closed the show on Broadway, usually you have like a party and everybody bows at the end and cries and then it's over. You go to this party. In American Idiot, we took our final Broadway bow. The show closed. Then they did a full Green Day concert on the stage of the St. James.
The three of them?
Yeah. So we all got out of costume. Billy stayed on stage. The boys like joined him. They did a full Green Day concert. All of us were like shotgunning beers, and on this Broadway stage we were in our closing night outfits crying, like dancing with Green Day fucking playing on it was crazy.
What do you learn from a guy like that when just on stage presence and the way he commands a crowd?
Just like, again, unabashedly himself. He is a rock star, like the living persona of one. And I think there's something cool about me starting in a show like that because it just made me sort of step into this role of being sort of a little rock star. I mean, I was so young, but there was something about that was very freeing at the time. Because it wasn't, not that other musicals are tight, but there was a different, it was a different musical world than if I were doing, say, Sound of Music, or I did Evita a couple years later. Very different worlds, right?
In
And
what way?
so,
Just the atmosphere of it?
atmosphere, the tone, what we're doing, a little bit more buttoned up. And American Idiot was just, we basically started the show sweating. We were like thrashing around and singing, and it was a 90-minute show, and it was just a different beast. I'll never forget it. And I always was like, wow, nothing will be quite like this, I don't think, on Broadway.
How does American Idiot compare to Mean Girls?
So different. I mean, again, great fandoms. American Idiot had a great fan base. Mean Girls has a great fan base. Mean Girls, you know, what was nice about Mean Girls is I hadn't really done a comedy. Not because I didn't want to, but because, especially in New York, like once you, again, I started in all these edgy shows. I did Spring Awakening, then I went right into American Idiot. I did like the David Bowie musical called Lazarus. So I got to work with David Bowie himself, which was really cool. But I was always in this like rocker world and always in these like dramas. And so when Mean Girls called, I was like, wow, I haven't done a comedy in like 10 years. I miss it. I miss it so much. And so being able to go on stage and make people laugh every night was so awesome, because not that I don't love my dramas, I love them, but just to like make people laugh felt good. And I'm working on a show right now called Regency Girls that is just so funny. And it's a hard world right now. So to make people laugh for 2 hours feels like a huge gift. It makes me laugh, and I'm like, I need to laugh. It's a little heavy right now, so it's nice to make people laugh.
What is the challenge of getting the timing and the pacing of the comedy for a live crowd on Broadway?
It's really hard. I actually also feel like it worked out great that I didn't start doing comedy again until I was in my late 20s. I feel like it's kind of harder in ways than drama because it's timing. You can't push. The minute you push, you are no longer funny.
Like pushing them to laugh? Like,
yeah, like
this is funny, laugh. You have to just be.
or pushing yourself. Like, you know, if you don't get a laugh, sometimes like when I was younger, I'd be like, okay, I have to try harder. I have to try to be funnier. The minute you try to be funny, you're not funny. Like, you just have to be and put the reality of the situation into what's happening. That is what's funny inherently. But trying to be funny is not really funny. I mean, think about your favorite comedians. They're not trying to be funny. They just are telling great jokes, and they're authentically delivering them as themselves. So I think that's a big lesson I learned as I got older. And I actually think I wonder sometimes how I would have been in Mean Girls if I did it 10 years prior, because I actually think I was ready to do comedy when I booked Mean Girls. And I think I might have not been ready before. It takes a lot of confidence. You have to be confident in, like, if I time this right, if I say the joke clearly, let the laugh land, it will be funny because Tina Fey wrote a funny joke. But the minute I try to make it funny or try to make them laugh, it might not land. And sometimes it just wouldn't land. And you still had to go, try again tomorrow. Like, let your ego quiet. You may tell a joke, say a joke, and they don't laugh, and then you got to move on and try again.
If you nail the pacing for the first 5 nights and you know the beats and how people laugh, is every crowd different where that crowd on the 6th night can completely just fall flat?
Yes.
Really?
For sure. And you, again, have to be like, hopefully this is just like a quiet matinee audience. But we always had this rule, too, in Mean Girls. And Kate would always remind me, like, if we were trying a different timing, because comedy really is timing. But if we were trying a different timing, trying a different cadence, we would give it 3 tries, 3 shows before we tried something else. Because the first show, it's the first time, so you're nervous. The second one, it could be a dead audience. The third one, if it gets the laugh, the timing is right. If it doesn't, got to try something different. So we would always give it 3 tries. But that meant 3 tries of like, this could epically bomb again tonight. And then you say your joke and you stand there and you're like, cool, I'm the least funny person on planet Earth.
Who's the one adjusting it? Is it the showrunner? If you guys want to tweak things?
On Broadway, yeah. So it's either a stage manager or like Tina Fey would notoriously come visit us. And I remember she liked to watch the show from the wings. And so we always knew when Tina was like here watching. And I remember one show, I wasn't getting a laugh on some line. I wish I could remember the line. She pulled me aside and she was like, hey, wait 2 more beats, you will get the laugh. So wait 2 beats, not 1, not 3, 2. And I was like, okay. Next day, I waited 2 extra beats, laugh immediately.
What is 2 beats? Like I know, like a beat, I know, but like 2 versus 3, what's that?
For instance, so like, I don't know, whatever the joke is. So instead of like joke, or
Wait even longer.
yeah, like hold until the end of the joke. So she basically was just giving us timing.
That's such a
Yeah,
talent.
it's such a talent. I mean, she's a freaking genius. So like, but to have Tina Fey, like a comedy legend, telling me exactly what to do timing wise, and it hit the next night, I was like, man, this is so cool.
I mean, Billy Joe Armstrong, Tina Fey, David Bowie, all these people have such insane presences to command the crowd. Is there anything else that stands out from something that you learned from them?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've gotten to work with these amazing legends, which is so cool. And I am in a constant flow of gratitude. I have no jadedness about it. And anytime I learn anything from any of these people, I soak it in like a sponge. It doesn't matter how far I've gotten. I'm always like, I can always level up. I can always get better. I can always be stronger in what I'm doing. And I think if what I've learned from Billy Joe and from David and from Tina Fey and from all these amazing people is just that they are so committed to the work that they're doing. These three people in particular, all of the amazing people I've worked with, and also all the people in Hazbin, the work ethic is not to be denied. I talk about this with young people all the time. What we do is really hard. And it's not just hard because of the rejection and because of it being the entertainment industry. It requires a certain amount of discipline that people do not quite realize how much you have to push yourself. And when you're tired, I can cry about it for a second and then I get back up and I keep going. And it's not about being a workaholic, but rather like that's what this is. And that's why we all are pushing towards something that matters to us. And so I think those three people in particular are the perfect example of people that they worked their asses off. All three of them continued to. My God, David Bowie worked his ass off until the moment that he died. We recorded the cast album of Lazarus the day that he died. I saw him 2 weeks before because he came to opening night of the show. And he never stopped because he believed so much in what he did. And I think that's what I mean. All these people believe in what they do. I believe in what I'm doing. And I don't know, life wouldn't be as fun without it. So I'm like, I'm pushing this.
You're not jaded. You've been on all these amazing projects, which is so incredible. What are those days like when have you ever wanted to call it and give up and you thought every door was shut and you were just done?
Always. That will constantly happen. It's just the nature and the beast of what we do is that it comes with constant rejection, constantly. It doesn't matter how far you get, how cool of a show you're on, how many Broadway shows you've done, how many Tony Awards you've been nominated for. You have to be ready for rejection at all times. And that can really hurt, especially the more I pour my soul and heart into it, the closer I get to these projects that I want so badly that then they're like, no, you don't get to do that. And that's hard. It never gets easier. I think I get used to the feeling, but it doesn't make it hurt less, I guess. And so, yeah, there are days where I'm like, I want to quit today. And my husband always says, he's like, let's quit today. Tomorrow, we'll start again. But today, we fucking quit.
Oh,
So
good.
I'll quit for a day.
When do you feel the most secure with it? Is it once you have the job, for the next 3-6 year, you're in it?
It's funny, theater is Hazbin is the most security job-wise I've ever felt, just because we knew that we got picked up. The fandom is what it is, and that's a really cool feeling because in theater, we take a show to Broadway, and I did American Psycho, for instance. To me, it was a property that was well known. It was a really cool show, and we opened it, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a hit, and we closed in 2 months.
Because people weren't showing up.
People didn't get it. It was expensive to run. There were so many reasons, but it just didn't work out. And so I think that's also why I'm not jaded. I'm like, anytime I get to be on stage, on camera, behind the microphone, I'm like, this is a fucking gift, and I don't take it for granted. I think when I feel most confident is actually when I feel the most connected to the work I'm doing versus like, is this going to be a big hit or am I going to get nominated for this? To me, I'm reminded of why I do it when I feel locked into like the artistry of it. And I know that sounds like so like, but I actually really mean it. There's the show I'm working on, Regency Girls, that hopefully will go to Broadway soon, means so much to me and matters so much to me, what we're saying, what it's about, what it means to people when they watch it, that I feel the most connected to why I do this when I'm like really in it with that character, sharing the stage with my friends. Again, we've only done it in a studio and at a small theater. It doesn't have big accolades yet. And I feel the most connected when I'm like feeling that.
What do you mean hopefully go to Broadway? Because you guys are preparing for this.
Yeah. So like we did an out of town at the Globe in San Diego last year. Went so well, got reviewed well, extended, sold out. And with a Broadway show, a theater show, you prep it and then the theater they have to give you a theater and you have to raise a ton of money. And so it's in the process of that. And theater is sort of
Broadway itself?
Yeah, Broadway. To get to Broadway.
Oh, Broadway's like an entity.
Broadway's an entity. It's I don't know how many theaters, but it's that section of New York. It's just those Broadway theaters. So there has to be a theater available for you that wants your show. And there's the longest list of shows trying to get in. So it is one of those things where you wait and you're like, this should go. Is it going to go? And I've had a lot of heartbreak where it never goes. Now, I do think Regency Girls should go. It's really incredible, but you never know. So
That's so fascinating.
fascinating.
So Hazbin on Broadway.
Ugh.
That comes out, has a massive response on Prime, kills it. There's a chance that could eventually go to Broadway and do a
Oh my
whole
God.
routine.
Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, doing the live Broadway show was so cool. It was hard. It was hard because it was like not like thrown to it.
There was
It
just so much going
It was
on.
hard because it was new for everybody involved. Like Amazon didn't know what it was going to be. These people didn't know what it was going to be. We were like, oh my God, how's this going to work? We've never done camera blocking like this. Radical Media, who we did it with, were so good.
Is that the camera crew
Yes. Like the company that like did the,
filming?
yeah, I don't like know anything about anything with the people that like knew how it was going to look. And so it was all these amazing cooks in the kitchen. It was great. But we were definitely nervous. We didn't have a lot of lead time. We didn't have a lot of rehearsal time. It was kind of last minute. It was sort of a test for them. They didn't know how it was going to be or what people would think about it. And damn, did it come out great. We were really happy with it. I was so nervous though. We all were. We were like, oh my God, like what if we forget our songs? We'd never sung the songs other than in studio. Like I'd never sung Piss a Love Song other than in chunks in the studio.
Never
And-
as together.
No. And so it was like a very new feeling. And it was a night that I truly will never forget. One of my like favorite moments like of my whole career was that night doing that.
Is that trippy for you, someone who's done this for so long and you do these performances for nights on end, but then you're just doing a one-off?
Yes, I think that's why the pressure was like on Broadway, you're like, cool, if I bomb tonight, I get to do it again tomorrow and it'll be okay. But I think that's why even behind the microphone or on camera and stuff is so different than theater because that's it. You get and the live show, one and done. Like there was no going back if we flubbed a lyric. They ended up taping Piss twice because they wanted a different angle. But like if I would have sounded bad on a note or said the wrong lyric or blinked too many times, like there's no going back and like fixing that. It just is. So we were like, oh God, I hope this is good. And we all killed it, but I was like, this is so much pressure.
I was watching your YouTube channel, which is incredible. You guys should go subscribe to it. It's going to be linked down below.
Oh, thank you.
You talked about just you guys are doing the red carpet right before you're about to perform, so you're being thrown around. You're not like locked in a dressing room where you can actually rehearse and prepare, and it just must have been so chaotic.
That day was particularly insane because they did it on the same day as the premiere. So we were going back and forth from, we had to be at the theater. Usually for a premiere, you get in your outfit, you spend all day like drinking champagne and getting dressed and getting your hair and makeup done. You go to the red carpet, you see your friends, you watch a couple episodes, you party. It's a big celebration. We had to be at the theater at like 8 a.m, camera blocking, all freaking out because we had to sing live.
Everybody.
The people in the live show. And then we rehearsed, and then we had to like switch from our costumes for the show into our premiere outfits, run to the red carpet, do all the interviews, see our cast, run back, get ready. So it was just, the day was so chaotic. And at the end of the day, I have never felt so relieved that we did it, and also like, wow, proud of what we accomplished within a 12-hour period.
I'll assume your husband was there.
He was.
What did he think about just seeing you in your element in this world? Does he go to the cons with you?
Sometimes, every once in a while, he'll be like my handler, which is a fun experience for him. He's an actor as well, so he knows the world. We met in the theater community, but he does on camera stuff and stuff, so he knows the craziness of
Hazbin
what
world.
this can be. But it was cool that night because he was with my brother and sister who came as well, and they didn't know anything about. They've seen the show, but like you don't really understand the Hazbin universe or fandom until you're like there.
Yeah.
And talk about being in the theater with hundreds of cosplaying fans that were so excited. And my siblings were like, they looked at my husband, they're like, what the fuck is this? These people are freaking out. And he was like, just wait. So it was a pretty magical night to share that with my family, to share that with Bob. He knew already, but it was cool to have my siblings there.
How did that Hazbin night differ to other performances on Broadway, other than it just being a one night only?
From like, of like what I've done, you mean?
Yeah, I guess like just having that cast there together.
Yeah. I mean, I think what was cool about so all of us on stage, I guess other than Amir and Richard that were singing in it, we had been on Broadway before. So like, but not in the same way. It was such a unique experience. And I think for all of us to share, I feel like that night as a company, we cried the most we've cried in this whole scenario of like, I can't believe we're doing this. Because there's something powerful about live performance. And obviously what we see on camera and behind the microphone is really special, but to see it live and to go like, wow, this is something I helped create, this character I helped create, these songs we did together, and watching Viv experience that as well was like one of the most moving things because this came from her brain. And so like all of us sharing this Broadway stage together, it's truly a moment I will never forget. Amir and Richard made their Broadway debuts and Viv. And so like there was something so special about that. And it tied our worlds together. Because again, so many of us on the show come from the Broadway world, but we're in this new voice acting world. A lot of people actually, it was their first voice acting job. And so like I always felt like I was the musical theater person doing voice acting. And I was like, you guys, come on, come join me. And so I think it was really cool to watch everybody come together, theater and voice acting and all the fans in our home turf of New York. Just like, it was so magical.
It's no secret Vivian loves Broadway. Did she
love her.
Did she ever see Mean Girls with you in it?
She did.
Is that where did she scout you for
I
it?
don't know. I have to ask her about that because a lot of us were in shows that year because she must have seen a bunch of shows in 2019. I know she saw Mean Girls with me and Erika in it.
When she was scouting, plotting.
But she always does. Anytime she comes back from shows that she sees, she's like, do you know this person? I love their voice. So she's always like, she just loves musicals. And she, you know, I think she constantly is thinking about that, especially with her characters that she writes. And so I definitely, some of our cast did not have to audition, but I did. But I do wonder, I should ask her if I assume part of her remembering me was that she had seen me as Gretchen.
Were you into punk rock and everything growing up? Like having Patrick Stump on your cast, is that crazy to you?
Oh, that was crazy. I was so excited. And the first time I heard, we heard like a comp of the finale when he has that like da 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 na 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 na. I was like, I can't believe it. I was so excited. And I haven't met him yet. I want to meet him. I was very excited about that. I was kind of into everything. I was a real true nerd in high school. I wore like the Lord of the Rings ring around my neck. I wrote in Elvish. So like I was like truly just like I read my book. Like I was a big nerd in a great way. So I feel like my punky rock phase was at the same time. I actually was into ska. Do you know what ska is?
Of course, Real Big Fish, Less Than
Yes.
Jake.
So I was like a ska kid, which is like theater adjacent and a little goofier than punk. I don't think I was cool enough for punk, but I was definitely a ska kid.
Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Yes, absolutely.
Who else did you like? Did you go to Warped Tour?
I wasn't allowed, but I would
Oh.
have. Yeah, Real Big Fish, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Mad Caddies I was really into, which was a little edgier.
Yeah, I know
that
that.
was when I was really feeling edgy. I was like, I'm gonna listen to Mad Caddies because they say fuck. But then I'd go right back to Real Big Fish and listen to like Pizza Day or whatever that song's called. But yeah, I also like my high school I grew up with, all my theater friends were also in this ska band called Captain Squeegee and the Soap Suds.
That's so funny.
And so we would always go to their ska shows. And so that was like my
Were you ska
rocker.
dancing too?
Oh, skanking? Yeah, for sure.
Skanking.
And it's funny, my East Coast friends, I don't think ska was as popular on the East Coast because I'm from Phoenix. And so sometimes they're like, what's ska? And I'm like, you've never skanked? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, you guys, just wait. And I'll send them playlists of ska. Just like horns and my checkered Vans. And yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Is there a Cherri Bomb quote that people request of you the most?
Yeah, there are a few. At conventions, people like for me to sign, you can sleep when you double dead, fuckhead.
Is it easy for you to turn it on?
A little, yeah. I mean, kind of. Like, it's funny, the accent takes me a second, but I also feel like Cherri Bomb is now such a part of me that I can just like fucking pull it out. People also love, recently they've been wanting to me for me to sign You Fucking Died on Me, Asshole from season 2. And then obviously What Up Ho. People love that.
Do you have a favorite one?
Like, oh, You Can Sleep When You're Double Dead, fuckhead is one of my favorites. I also like when she goes, whatever nerd, which I love. She's crazy.
When you're in the booth, do those moments feel like they're gonna transcend to the audience? Like, oh, this is almost like a trailer cut. This is a trailer edit. They're going to love this.
There are certain lines in episodes where I get to it and I'm like, that is so fucking crazy. They're gonna love that. That's what I always think. I'm like, they're gonna love that, meaning the fandom. But what's fun is that, like, I know we've talked about this before, but like we have a certain amount of freedom in the booth with Richard and Viv, especially the further along we get. Now when we're in sessions for these later seasons, we know the characters really well now. And so we'll go on runs, we'll say crazy stuff, we'll try different things for lines. And so I never actually know what's going to make it into the episode half the time. So it's fun for me to like watch and be like, oh, they chose that. Or, oh my God, I remember when I said it that way. Or, oh, they didn't put that thing in. And so I wish we could have like a blooper reel. It'd be so funny.
Are there any improv lines of yours that you just like threw in an extra fuck and it made it in?
So many. Because again, like as voice actors, you always want to do what's on the page. It's important. And then they give you the freedom of kind of doing your own thing, or I'll change something if I feel like it sounds better this way, or, oh, I hear it as this, maybe not that, like if we switch it around. So yeah, like a lot of things have made it in like that, and little like improv runs, or like, you know, I remember in season 2, I play the little, she has like a green hair and she's the one that's like, nifty. Like, I love nifty, stab. And then she gets stabbed in episode 1. I don't know if you remember. But I remember I like went, we had an effort day where I had to like act like I was being stabbed. And I was like, yes. And it just kept going. And it was so stupid. I feel silly in the booth. And it's the best thing. I'm like, I'm never going to grow up. This feels like kid, like in a great way. I'm a kid.
How are you in the booth? Do you have a headphone on one ear? Are you just...
I do headphone on one ear, especially when I'm singing, but a lot of the times I don't like being like, this always feels crazy, and so I like having one ear open. But I'm pretty like free. Like sometimes they have to be like, stop moving, because I'm just like, especially with Cherri, because she's so fucking like crazy all the time. Like I move a lot and I use my hands a lot, so sometimes they're like, hey, you're hitting the microphone. Can you stop moving? But we have a lot of flexibility in there. They know that we have a lot of energy on this show, so I move around a lot.
What about when you're singing?
When I'm singing?
Are you headphones off?
No, I have to have one in just because of tracking. Like, because the way it works is because the music is in our ears, it can't be in the microphone too, so they couldn't like play it. So I have to have it on my ears, but only one, because I can't really feel what my voice is if I'm fully closed up. So I have to always have one ear.
Coming from Broadway, you're trained to sing every day and do long performances. Can you just go into the booth and you're just good? Like if I'm like, Tuesday, you got to sing this, you're like, no problem. Like, do you need to coat your voice? Do you need to make sure?
Yeah, I mean, definitely depending on what is being asked. And it does require, like, if I know I'm going to sing, especially like Piss Love Song was high and hard. So I knew that a couple days leading up, that meant very little drinking, no partying, no screaming, no like loud activities.
Are you talking whisper?
Yeah, whispering's not good for your voice.
Oh, so you're just talking
crazy.
regular.
Just talking regular, but like not going, like if I'm at a bar that's loud, I'm out of there. Like it cannot. And that's just to preserve the voice so that it is okay. A lot of water, a lot of sleep. And, you know, I've always found that my voice can sustain a lot, meaning like I don't have cords of steel, but my cords are very strong, meaning like it takes a lot for me to be like, oh my God, I can't do it today. But for these sessions in particular, especially Hazbin, it lasts forever. It's going to be recorded and released, and I want it to be good. So I take it really seriously. So yeah, a couple days leading up to doing singing for this show in particular is a lot of self-care and making sure that she's in good shape.
Season 1, you're going into it. You're doing it. Obviously, you're doing your best. But now season 2, you know there's going to be seen by a lot of people.
Yeah.
So is there any added pressure for that?
Yeah, totally. I think the pressure of wanting people to continue to like what you're doing, to like your character. I know a lot of people in season 1, I got a lot of like messages about like, well, Cherri's like not a good friend to Angel. And I was always like, no, you guys, like we just haven't, there's not enough time. We haven't explored her yet. So I think for me, I was excited for season 2 to come out because I wanted people to know that, you know, Cherri Bomb has Angel's back and she's learning too. I think Erika talks about this a lot, that like we have to give these characters time as well. We have all these seasons to explore. And if they were perfect characters right away, where could we go from there, right? So we have to watch them grow, let them learn. And I think that's what's exciting about Cherri Bomb is she's learning a lot. And I do feel the pressure of making sure that people love her and that I'm working constantly on making her a fully fleshed out character, that the accent is good, that like everything is in alignment for people to love her as much as I know that they already do. So it's weird. Like they love her already and I want them to continue to. So I do feel the pressure of it. And I also just do the best I can. And animation is crazy. It's fast. There's not a lot of prep time. And so we just kind of have to go in and do it without thinking too hard about it.
Could we do fan questions?
Yeah.
Will Cherri Bomb have more songs in season 3? You can't answer.
I can't answer that.
What is your personal opinion on Piss, a love song?
My personal opinion is that I am obsessed with Piss a Love Song. I love it so much. It's exactly what I heard for her voice. I was always like, this is exactly what I thought Cherri Bomb would sound like. And I just think it's funny. Like, just that it's a love song. And then it like makes you laugh. And then it like makes you cry at the end. And you're like, what the fuck? This song is called Piss. It's crazy.
Would you guys ever sing it live if there was an opportunity?
Oh my God, I would die to. Alex was supposed to do the live and he got sick, which was so sad. So it was supposed to be me and him. And luckily I got to do it with cartoon version of Alex. But me and Alex want to sing it live so badly. It would be awesome.
Level up.
Maybe. We will be there.
If you could, what would you change Cherri's style to be? I love Cherri, my favorite.
Her style, like her clothing style?
I guess if you wanted to alter the clothing to, would it be checkered Vans?
Oh my God, yeah. Like Cherri Bomb is a ska kid with like checkered Vans, skanking. Yeah, she would totally get along with the ska kid.
Who would she be listening to?
She would go like a little more hardcore, like Mad Caddy's vibe, but maybe Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Like I'm trying to think of other ones that she would like. Yeah, she wouldn't like the like super goofy ones. I feel like she'd need like the little bit hardcore ska stuff.
Did you like Newfound Glory?
No,
know
I don't
them?
know Newfound Glory.
They're more pop punk, not so
Yeah.
much ska, but they're on like same labels and
Yeah.
that era. What is your favorite part of Cherri's character?
I love her. My favorite part about Cherri's character is like her loyalty and also her full commitment to being exactly who she is and not apologizing for it. And if people have a problem with it, they can check in with her or also just figure it out for themselves in a good way. I think she's now learning that she can't do it alone, which is the lesson a lot of us have to learn. But I think what I love the most about her is her confidence. And she just really believes in who she is and that she's a badass bitch.
Is that something that you learned about the character in the sides when you first had her, or is that as you're developing and you're seeing the season come through?
Yeah, I think as I'm learning her and like all this new stuff that I'm learning about her too, that you guys will learn at some point. I think she's becoming a clearer picture to me, you know? And again, I only got those 2 episodes that you all saw in season 1 to learn about Cherri at the beginning. It was a fast process and there's only so much that Viv can share in the booth and that she knows and that I should know yet and she doesn't know me yet. So like, yeah, it's a lot of filling in the blanks and I think what my favorite part about season 2 is getting to find her softer sides, which is cool.
What's your favorite season 2 Cherri line, and can you do it in the accent?
Oh, let's see. My favorite season 2 Cherri line, yeah, was I said it already, but I'll say it again. You fucking died on me, asshole.
What do you think Cherri's love language is to give and receive?
Oh, wow. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to be honest. I feel like it's physical touch. But she reminds me of me in this way. I feel like I'm a physical touch person, meaning like I receive love with physical touch. I love a hug or like a handhold or like a pat. But if the wrong person hugs me or pats me on the back, I'm going to fucking punch you in the face. So I feel like me and Cherri are kindred spirits in that way.
Were you surprised when you saw somebody in the cast list? Is there anyone specific that like you were like, oh my God, other than Erika?
Erika was so excited about.
Like reuniting with Joelle.
Oh yeah. There's somebody coming up that I can't say who, and I was really excited when that person called me to tell me that they booked this show.
Oh, that's so amazing.
I can say nothing else, but damn am I excited. And I love this person so much. Know them for a very long time. So
Oh, that's so exciting.
yeah, very exciting.
Didn't realize you and Erika were in the same musical. That's cool. Could we do some rapid fire as well?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
What was the hardest scene to record?
My first scene, because I didn't know what I was doing yet.
In what way?
I was sort of like, okay, I'm doing this. What's crazy about when you do voice acting, especially that first episode of any show I'm on, so whether it be Voltron, Monster High, Hazbin Hotel, whatever, the first session, they're like, cool, go. And you're like, oh, I'm about to make a choice that will have to last the test of time, especially for Hazbin. I knew it would be like a thing that was going to be a thing. And you're like, hope that was good, because that's what we're stuck with.
So when you leave the booth, that's what you're thinking?
The first session of any new show I'm on, 100%. I'm like, I hope that was good enough. I hope that that is what they wanted. They would tell me if it wasn't, but there's an element of like leaping on that first episode because you're like, and then you have to stick with it because that's what it is.
How does the vibe of Hazbin compare to Monster High?
Oh my God, so different.
In what way?
Just, I mean, obviously, like the difference between the kids, Monster High is this property on Nickelodeon that's for kids. And then Hazbin Hotel. I think the funniest part about Hazbin is I had done so much animation before, but I had never even cursed on microphone. So my first line as Cherri Bomb was "What up, ho?" or the word "fuck," and I was like, "Wait, this is so crazy." And so I remember I was in tandem. I was recording Hazbin. There was one year when I first booked Hazbin, I was on Hazbin. This show called Pantheon, which actually has had a resurgence now. It didn't do well at the time, but people are watching it now on Netflix. Monster High, and then this other show that hasn't come out yet that's a kids show. I was recording them all at the same time. And anytime I'd get back to like Monster High or the other Nickelodeon show, I'd be like, this is a different world. No cursing. I can't improv. Like, this is like on the page. Like, not that it's less fun. It's just totally different.
Is it crazy for you as an actress that now in the streaming day of age, like they could take a show off and then out of nowhere it's just back and you can have this crazy resurgence?
Yes, it's crazy. That's what's happening with Pantheon is like, I don't know if you've heard of Pantheon. It was on AMC Plus. We recorded 2 seasons. Only 1 season came out. It didn't do well. They took it off. Somehow it got bought, or I don't know how any of this works. And now it's on Netflix and people come to my booth now and they're like, "You're in Pantheon." And I was like, I didn't even know anybody knew that show existed. That's so cool. And then people constantly are telling me they're sad because Voltron got taken off of Netflix and they're like, "Why is Voltron gone?" And it's pretty wild. And then things that I record that I'll never even see, it'll be years later. Like, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was on that one episode of Monster, I think it's called like Monster Wheelies. And someone's like, "Hey, that sounds like Krystina." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I did that years ago."
Is season 2 going to come out of that show?
Pantheon?
Yeah.
I recorded it, but I don't know that I assume that it will never come out.
Like it didn't get created animation.
Yeah, I wonder. I recorded it, but it never dropped, and I wonder how far along in the process it got.
Oh, that's so
I
interesting.
Don't know. Yeah.
Funniest moment in the booth, whether it was with you and Richard, you and Viv. Oh, there's something that comes to mind.
Literally anytime I have to do any scenes with Serpentious, because it's Richard. Because Richard, our voice director, obviously prolific voice actor, I am a fan of his, and still to this day, I'm like, I can't believe you're my friend. His Serpentious impression is really funny. And so if I have to do scenes with him, I constantly am laughing. And there's one in particular in the coming season that I can't talk about. There was a moment that I can't wait to tell you guys about because it was the funniest thing I can't talk about it, but I've never laughed that hard in my life.
Do you have like flashbacks throughout the day where you're thinking of that line that you did say and you're like, I wonder how they're going to animate that? How's that going to cut together? How's that going to look?
Sometimes when I like go back, we'll do re-records or I'll get the next episode for whatever season we're on. I'll read it and then I'll go back and be like, oh my God, this aligns exactly with that one thing that I did over here. I wonder if that's why it's here. And so it's like this weird puzzle piece because it takes so long. So you forget. Even now, like, I'm like, okay, season 2 has come out. We can't talk about season 3. We're so far ahead in other worlds right now that I'm like, where am I and what can I talk about at any given moment? And sometimes I'll even start humming songs that you guys have no idea about that are so far away from anything you're going to hear in the near future that I'm like, don't hum that. Don't say those words. Crazy.
What kind of booth do you go into when you're singing in New York? Is that like, does Sam and Andrew have a home studio, or are you guys?
They do for other stuff, but we record the songs in the same booth and setup that we do when we're doing the episodes. So and they'll usually ask, like, for me, my process, because Cherri Bomb's voice is a little gravelier, she screams a lot. I always have to sing first before we go to the scenes because the scenes will wreck my voice. So we start with the singing, and we know that if I'm singing a lot, we're not going to do a big day of efforts, like a lot of screaming or fighting, because it really messes my voice up and I can't sing after it.
If like you get stabbed in the stomach, are you giving 10 different ways of how?
Oh yeah. It is exactly. It's funny. Like, I always tell people that want to get into this. I have friends that are always like, "How do I get into voice acting? Like, do you have any tips?" And I'm always like, you have to be willing to feel so dumb. Like, imagine someone being like, "I'm going to pay you money to stand at that microphone and I need you to be stabbed and I need it to sound real and I need you to do it a bunch of different ways. Okay, gurgle at the end. Gurgle louder. Okay, oh, it hurts." Like, it is such a weird exercise of like, okay, this is so embarrassing, but also like, let's fucking do this.
Character you'd want Cherri Bomb to team up with more?
Ooh. I mean, I always want more time with Angel, but I think what was fun about end of season 2 is that her and Husk were kind of hanging out, trying to help their boys. So we'll see about that.
Coffee before recording, yes or no?
Yes, a must. an absolute. I always have like 6 beverages. I have like a little table like this, and it's like water, tea with honey, coffee, maybe like a Diet Pepsi, a second water.
Are you just cycling through
liquids.
everything?
Yes. I'll go back and forth. I'm like, okay, a little tea. Okay, I'm going to do a little coffee. Like, it's just, yeah.
What if your voice is a little raspy for Broadway? Can you call out?
Yeah, for sure. We can. It's okay if it's a little raspy. There's a difference between it being like tired and going like, oh, I actually can't do it today. But yeah, if like I don't have it, I would never want to do the show and like sound really, really bad. I've definitely done a show a little bit sniffly or like, ooh, I'm just tired today, or I had to do an audition yesterday that was hard, or I was in session for something and it really took it out of me. But if it's really bad, yeah, I'm calling out.
What is it like for your instrument to be your voice? Because you constantly have to be taking care of it, no?
Yeah, it's really intimidating. When I'm theater and musical theater in particular is stressful because every morning I open my eyes and I go, okay, I have it. But if I open my eyes and I go, I don't have it, panic ensues. You're like, steamer, water. Oh my God, can I do the show tonight? I have to, like, it's a constant assessing of the voice, which is so different than obviously in the booth, I have to be in well voice. But like, if I'm doing a couple episodes where I'm not singing, even if I'm not feeling super well, I can probably make that happen. But singing, especially at the level that we do, every morning, oh God, can I do it today?
Have you ever looked out in the crowd and you saw somebody there and just got in your head?
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Like, well, I did a lot of tours at first, and every time we'd come through LA, like when I was younger, there were always celebrities in the audience. I remember I looked up once and I was like, Justin Timberlake.
Oh
I was
my
like, holy
God.
fuck. So definitely. But then you get it out of your head and you're like, I'm going to dance for Justin Timberlake. Cool. Or whatever, whoever it is.
Do they try and get a tour of the back to meet the cast?
Yeah. So I got to meet him. I've met so many people in that way because they love, especially people that love musicals. And I met Lady Gaga. She came to American Idiot and she was like, I want to be an American Idiot. And we were like, oh my God, that'd be so cool. So that was cool meeting her.
We're doing another one tomorrow.
Exactly. We're like, come on, join us. But yeah, I get into, but I also feel motivated when I see people that I love because I'm like, oh my God, like this is an idol of mine or somebody that I really respect and I want to do the show well for them. And this is their first time seeing it. So it does put a little pep in my step too.
What's your bucket list for Broadway plays that you want to do?
Ooh, I mean, current bucket list is my show Regency Girls going to Broadway because I really believe in that one. But I think I want to do like In the Heights is my favorite musical. And it's weird, like my bucket list has changed so much as I've gotten older because I work on so many new shows now. But if I were to do something that has existed before, I think playing the narrator in Joseph would be really cool. I think being maybe Maureen in Rent would be awesome. I always thought I was a Mimi, but I feel like I'm more of a Maureen. I think it'd be a kooky role to play and I would love to. Yeah, I love musicals. They're so fun. I played Dot in Sunday in the Park with George here at Pasadena Playhouse a couple years ago. Never knew that was a dream of mine until I did it. I would play that role over and over and over again. My favorite show I've ever done.
How come?
Do you know it well? So Sunday in the Park with George is a Sondheim show, and it's hard to explain. It was just life-changing as an actor, as a person, as an artist. It's about being an artist. It's about the complications of being a creative person. And Dot in particular, who was played by Bernadette Peters originally, there's something about her wisdom and what she goes through in the show that I've never connected so much with. There's a song called Move On. If you don't know it well, when I leave, listen to Move On. It's, I think, the most prolific Stephen Sondheim song ever. It's so beautiful. Really listen to the words. It's like everything that we want to live by as human people. And these characters struggle so much with it. And she teaches George the lesson in the end of moving on. Oh, I wish we could listen to it now. It's so good. So I would want to play Dot again.
What do you think is the most surprising thing to someone who's not very familiar with Broadway? Just
about it?
About the art of it, the acting, the time, how much time it takes for an actor.
Yeah, I think what I always am surprised that people don't know about Broadway is just the time commitment. If I'm on a television show, the time commitment is crazy too. But on Broadway, if you're in a show that's lasting, you work 6 days a week, 8 shows a week. You have Mondays off. You have one night off, so you're not on a regular schedule. You don't get to go to birthday parties. You don't get to go to dinners. You don't have holidays because we work on holidays. So it is this fully immersed experience. And that's it. And the weekends, we do double shows every day, every Saturday and Sunday. So you're not experiencing life in a way that people are used to. And when I'm on television, they take the weekends off, right? Theater is Tuesday through Sunday. And Monday, you're like, I have to catch up. And so I don't have a lot of time. So I feel like people are surprised that I don't really have a life. It is my whole life when I'm on Broadway because it's just the schedule is crazy. And I also am like, I don't know how long this is going to last. So I want it to be crazy. And that's okay.
How do the contracts work for that? Are you signing 3 months, 6 months at a time?
It depends. Like something like Mean Girls, that was a successful show. I signed for a year. And then after the year mark, they decide if they want to up you again. And I got my contract redone. And so I was signing on for another year, but COVID happened.
Do you get to renegotiate at that point?
A little bit. Usually like that first negotiation is the big one. And then the second time around, it's a little bump that you've already kind of said that you were going to do. But they could also say, we're actually going to move on to somebody else. So they're not required to sign you on for another year, just the year. But other shows, it's like an open-ended contract hoping that it'll last. But as like a principal role, you always sign for a year, but it could end like 2 months, in 2 months. It's crazy.
Are you able, like, are they providing you like food and everything too?
No. Theater, you don't get anything in theater. They don't do your makeup. You don't get lunch in between shows. You don't get anything. You just do it. That's why every time I'm on a TV show, I'm like, somebody's doing my makeup. Oh my God, someone brought me an omelet. Thank you, person that brought me an omelet. Someone's picking me up in a car to take me to work. In theater, there's just none of that.
But you love the art of it. You love the passion of it.
Love it. And obviously on Broadway, you make good money, but you do not get, people are always surprised by that. They're like, you have to do your own makeup? And
I'm very surprised by
yeah,
that.
I do. I have to also buy my own makeup most of the time.
Oh, so you're responsible for taking.
Yeah.
What if it's like like an extravagant makeup job? That person does that?
No, like even the people in Lion King, from what I understand, do their own makeup. The cats learn how to do their cats' makeup. Like you teach, you learn it. They provide some of that specialty makeup. And in Mean Girls, they provided me makeup, but a lot of the shows you have to do, you provide your own and you sort of do the best you can. I'm always like, I'm not great at makeup, but it's the stage. They can't see. It's fine.
It's
Just
a big
load
spotlight.
it on.
It's fine.
It's good.
I really loved the Mean Girls movie musical.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so good. Everything progressed. The songs all progress the story so smoothly.
Yeah, that was such an interesting thing. I actually sang on that movie. I'm like, I don't know if there are these like 4 background characters that sing, but they're voiced by me and these 3 other girls. So I almost like did voice acting for that movie, but I sang on that whole soundtrack. So any of the like, ooh, there's like this weird vibey music. It's me and these 3 other Broadway girls.
Did they get you because you were on the Broadway play?
Yeah, so Jeff Richmond, the composer, obviously knew me from Mean Girls and was like, "Hey, can you come into session?" And was music directed by our music director. And also being a session singer, I session sing on a lot of movies like Snow White, and I was on like Lyle Lyle Crocodile. You have to be a proficient musician, meaning I can sight read music, I can sing all the voice parts, and no one has to teach me anything. So I just get the music. And they're like, cool, okay, we're going to start at the beginning. Go. No one's like, this is what it sounds like. They're like, sing it.
Are you almost like part of a loop group in a way where you just show up?
I want to be a part of a loop group. I'm not. But no, it's they basically have lists, especially in New York, of actors that can sight read and sing all the parts.
What is sight read? Like you're reading the musical?
Yeah, so just the dots. Like, so no one's like, this is what it sounds like and plays it. There's no demos because the music doesn't exist yet. So you just get sheet music and then they're like, sing it.
And do you normally nail it on that first take?
Yeah, like I'll do a little bit of studying at home and then we're singing as a group a lot of the times. So, but yeah, you have to be able to sight read. And some people can't. It's really, I learned in choir in school. And because I play the flute.
What is singing for background on Snow White movie?
That was great. I was involved in Snow White from the beginning demos. I know Pasek and Bahal well, the composers, and they were looking for a singer. And so I got to sing that main song from Snow White, Waiting on a Wish, for all the execs at Disney when they were greenlighting the movie, which was really cool.
They just want to hear how it sounds?
Yeah, so just as a live performance, example of what the movie was going to be, and that song in particular was already written. And so I sang that there, and then at some other like Disney stuff in the city. And
you sang that live in front of the execs?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
It was so intimidating. I was like, Bob Iger's literally listening to me sing Waiting on a Wish from Snow White. Holy shit, it was crazy. So that was a really cool job that happened in COVID. But I did all those demos from the beginning. And then when it went to picture, they called us in. And then basically the demos happened so that they can take those demos on set. and they record with the demos so that all the timing is right. Then the actors will go in and re-record them because that's who you hear. So the demo singers are done, me. But then they'll bring back loop group-esque singers and we'll do the whole movie. So then we watch the movie on picture and we're recording.
And can you hear yourself when you're watching it?
A little bit. I have 2 solo lines in Snow White the movie. I got a pay bump for this because the woman that plays Snow White's mother in the first song wasn't a singer. So I actually am her singing voice. So I think I have like 2 or 3 solo lines. That's why I'm credited as Krystina Alabado in that first song on the motion picture soundtrack, is because I have a couple solo lines.
Oh. What's been the most surprising pay for you on a project that you took on that you didn't realize there is a pay bump, or you said too many lines so they have to pay you a certain amount?
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of that is like something like that was a great example of Snow White. I was like, I didn't quite realize like what, again, being a singer in a singing session was. And then when you get bumped to having like one solo line or like an ooh that's out there, you're like, oh, I just got an extra paycheck. Oh my God, I got a real extra paycheck. And you get excited. And maybe like some things also in session with like shows where I'm not a series regular on in voice acting. Like sometimes if you have to re-record or you have to go back in for ADR, you get an extra pay and you're like, oh, sweet, an extra check. Or residuals always are a happy surprise in the mail. I'm like, yes, free money or money from the work I did 10 years ago on this one random television show.
What's a project that you think that you've done is severely underrated that people just did not get the chance to enjoy?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's this musical called The Mad Ones. It's not actually, I don't know if it's underrated. It's underknown. It's not known. It was an off-Broadway show I did. We did a recording of it. It's on Spotify. It is one of the hardest things I've ever sung and one of the most special things I've ever sung. It's about grief and about friendship. And it's so special. And it actually, we did the soundtrack. It was only off-Broadway for like a couple months. And people keep finding the soundtrack, which is cool. So people will always come up to me and be like, oh my God, I know you from the Mad Ones. And I'm like, oh, the fact that you even know that the Mad Ones exists is so cool. And I think it has some of my favorite music I've ever sung.
Wow. This has been so awesome talking to you.
Yeah, you too. You're amazing.
Thanks so much
you
for coming.
having me.
You're out here in LA, but do you think if somebody wanted to follow your footsteps or do what you're doing, do you think you have to be more in New York?
Oh God. I mean, if you want to do theater, you really do have to be in New York. That's where it all happens. But I feel like I've learned, especially in our modern times, like you can kind of be anywhere, but LA and New York, if you really want to do this, it's where you gotta be.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming by.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Guys, go follow Krystina on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and yeah. Where else can people find you coming up? Do you
All
have
the
any
places.
cons?
I have a bunch of cons coming up. I'm like doing 20 cons this year. I have a new Patreon, which is great. So I have that. Making crazy videos, and I post on all the things. So that's
Awesome.
the best place to follow me.
Guys, go follow.